Jamie, welcome to the new Cheltenham Town YouTube channel. Bittersweet to talk to you because I want to talk to you about your goal as well as dislocated shoulder. But we'll start with the goal. Couldn't have asked, I suppose, for a better start almost.
No, definitely. I felt we sort of grew into the game. We didn't start greatly. First couple of seconds could have been one down, but I felt we grew into the game and we felt quite good. I felt confident there was goals. We were sort of on top in the game. And obviously out of nowhere I get a chance. I mean, Brownie's had a kick, it's basically a shot, I suppose. It was going in, and keeper, I sort of read that he obviously got underneath it and was in a bit of trouble, so just sort of tried to read what he was going to do, and he managed to touch it down into my path. And I don't really remember too much after that. I just remember thinking, right, it's going to drop here. It just seemed like a normal routine sort of shot for me. I sort of ran round him, dived on the volley to touch it in, and as I managed to touch it in, I'm landing, and again, just seemed quite routine. Put my hand out, and all of a sudden, within a split second, I felt sort of something go, and I could sort of feel the agony straight away. Where I'd rolled over, and the boys were about to jump on me, and I was saying, "No, don't, please." The shoulders popped out, and from that, I sort of waited for Wezza to come on, and was hoping. I was saying, "Look, just pop it in, and we'll carry on." But we tried, and it wasn't going in, and the pain was getting worse, and it was a case of, that was it. I had to come off, and obviously then it all started from there, where I was sort of stuck in the change rooms waiting for ambulances and whatever else. So from being a great high, it became a real low, because I knew then I was going to be out for a bit, and that was the sort of last thing I wanted.
Yeah, it's an odd scenario, because I spoke to the doctor immediately after the game, and he said it really is quite rare for a 37-year-old to dislocate their shoulder for the first time. So just so unlucky for you, really. And I know you're the kind of player that just wants to be training all the time, wants to be playing football all the time. So is it just about managing that frustration and actually, when you do come back, using that frustration to make yourself get straight back into the game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was my worst thing. As I'm coming off the pitch, all I can think of is the games I'm going to miss and stuff like that. That was my first thought, stupid as it is. I suppose that's why I was probably screaming out as much, as well as it was pain. It was like, I'm starting the season, I've just worked 5-6 weeks getting fit to then know I'm probably going to be out for the same length of time. So it is frustrating for me, especially I suppose at my age, because I don't want to miss any football, because it's all very precious. So that was the most frustrating thing. And ever since I've done it, everyone was just saying, "Is it your first time?" Or have you done it before? As the doctors and everything. So I think if you've done it once, then you tend to do it a fair bit. But I think they were all in quite shocked that I'd gone throughout that length of time and never done it. And for it to happen, it seemed to me I've landed like that a million times in training, in games. Having shots like that and just landing just seemed very routine. But for some reason, I think when I looked at it, it seems to get a bit caught up, and the arm doesn't come with me. And I think that's how it obviously popped out. But it took a while to get it back in. Bit of pain and whatnot, but it's done, and I'm nearly into a week of done it already. So that's in my head, that's 1 week down. Hopefully only 3 or 4 to go.
Because obviously negatively you're going to be out for a month, sort of minimum. But the positive thing is that you don't require surgery, which was the worry, and that could have meant quite easily 4 months.
3 or 4 months.
So what's the process for you now? Obviously, you're resting your shoulder. You're going to do a lot of strength work with Ian Weston, and then hopefully sort of training in about 3 weeks' time.
I mean, the plan is now. We sort of said the first 4 or 5 days, try and do as little as possible and let it settle down. I've been doing a few exercises at home, which Wezza's given me. It's now a case of just sort of probably get the weekend out of the way, and then from Monday try and start to strengthen it. Obviously the good news was it doesn't need an operation, and it's a case of just strengthening all the muscles and tendons around the shoulder now, and take it week by week. It feels okay. I've got a fair bit of movement in it. The exercises aren't too bad. It sort of feels like a real bad dead arm now. So it feels okay. I think we're going to look to have an injection in it possibly, just to try and strengthen it up again a bit more, and just do as much as possible on it to strengthen it. I think I'm going in the oxygen chamber a couple of times a week, and really just give it a blast and just try and strengthen it. I mean, that's sort of it. I'm sort of raring to go already, if I'm honest. I want to sort of try and give it as much work as it needs, as long as it needs, and just try and be back as quick as possible.
I did want to speak to you about, because you've been around the game for a long time now, so coming away is a major negative for you, but Byron Harrison's come in, and you will have worked with him non-stop in
Yeah.
training, and he's done really, really well. And from actually having a probably bad performance against Kidderminster to actually rise above it and play well and get 3 goals in 2 games, you must be quite proud of him.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, obviously Byron, we'd been playing in pre-season, and it probably got to the point before the Kidderminster game where he probably felt he wasn't going to start the season. So I can understand that and relate to that you get disappointed. And the Kiddie game wasn't great for him. I think he took a bit of stick. I think he realised he didn't perform. So going into the Saturday's game, he probably expected to sit on the bench and maybe have a cameo late on. And, obviously with my injury, it throws up things. You never know when you're going to be called upon. And after 18 minutes, I managed to score. I go off and he's called upon straight away.
Yeah.
And to then hear he scored in that game was great, because it showed he'd responded. And then to watch the other night, I thought he performed as well as I've seen him. And everything that people tell me about him, that was it. He can perform at that level, and he just needs to do it sort of more often. And when he plays like that, you're against a team a league above, and they couldn't cope with him. So we know the talent's there. It's just getting it out of him and getting him in the right frame of mind each week to perform like that. So, as disappointed I am for myself, I'm very proud of what he's done and pleased for him. And it's going to make my job harder when I come back to get in the team. But it's all about the club, and we want everyone performing well. And if we've got people performing well like that, then it gives us a better chance of winning games and achieving what we want to achieve.
And just lastly, we'll concentrate on a positive twin. Despite the injury, it is 1 appearance, 1 touch, 1 goal. So I mean, that is what you're all about, isn't it? And I know you'll be eager to go when you come back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always said the first goal for the club is going to be important. I've got it out of the way, so that was good. And yeah, I felt there was goals out there, and I feel when I come back, I'll be raring to go to get more. So that's the positive of it. I managed to score. I felt good. It's just a case now of getting back as quick as possible and getting back into the team, because watching them the other night, I thought they performed real well, and I think being in the side, if I can get back in it, then there is goals for me, and hopefully it can be a real good year. So yeah, I've got 1 goal in 18 minutes, so hopefully I can get back quick, and there could be a few more to come.